So guys, after a little bit of a break, I am back to make a new video for you, and today I want to go over exactly how you guys can be getting the best loot inside of your Fortnite competitive matches. Now, with the recent FNCS that just happened over the past weekend, I was really looking at what's separating the really good teams from the teams who are not performing as well, and the main thing that I noticed was their loot. The amount of loot and the quality of it that they had, that was a really big factor in how well they performed throughout the tournament. And the consistency of how they got it was also one of the biggest factors for the best teams in the whole tournament. I want to go over some basic facts in today's video for how you guys can maximize the amount of good loot that you're getting, and also the way that you guys can consistently get it every single game by following these 4 different routines. You guys should pick any one of these 4 routines and always stick to at least one of them. The options that you pick every game might change, however, it's still important that you pay attention to these 4 tips. Let's hop right into this video. So starting off, the first big thing that I want to go over is definitely going to be abusing the capture points. So let's say that you're landing at a named POI, or even if you're not, let's say you're landing near a named POI. Now, as you guys know, in these named POIs, they have stuff called capture points. It's basically a place where you can go in the POI, there's a little flag, you can stand around this point, and you can capture it, and then it will drop some loot for you. This will definitely guarantee drop you 2 meds, 2 weapons, and then 1 additional item. Now, what's really important about the capture points is that they're pretty much guaranteed blue and purple loot. You're not going to be getting anything lower than that, so that's already a good place to start in terms of getting a base level of solid loot. Capture points are also somewhere where you can gain very many other abilities, such as wall hacks on your opponents, learning where all the chests are in a POI that are unopened. So let's say that you're landing at a POI that's not a named one, and then afterwards you rotate over to a big named POI and you would use the capture point to see where all the players are and where all the unopened chests that they forgot to open are. You can go loot the chests and then you can go eliminate the players. It's actually a really smart way to get way better loot. Capture points, I believe, are one of the best additions to the game that we've ever had, considering that they just generally give you a very fair advantage over the enemy players. However, it's not too unfair to the point where you're going to be immediately eliminating them. It's a very, very valid way to actually get very good loot, and I recommend you guys definitely consider doing it even if you're not landing at a named POI. My recommendation, generally land somewhere within 100 to 250 meters of a named POI if you're landing at a split drop, and then try to have one of your duo partners, if you're playing duos, rotate over to that place, start the capture point while the other player tries to back them up, and look out for any enemies that may be trying to eliminate the partner who's capturing. That's a really solid way, in my opinion, to actually always win the off-spawn fights that you have to engage with when you're trying to get a capture point. Now, in my opinion, the next best way to get really solid loot is definitely going to be holo chests. Now, a lot of people really haven't taken a lot of advantage when it comes to holo chests. Now, as you guys know, holo chests are basically the key chests. You can input keys, you can maybe even do 2 keys for a very solid item. It's going to be giving you purple, exotic, and legendary loot. You guys can easily upgrade all of your weapons if you just go into this place and you try to get the best weapon there. You guys can get shotguns, SMGs, ARs, long-range weapons. Anything you really want from the holo chest you can get, just depending on how lucky you get with what's added. There's many different holo chests scattered around the map. I think that the best way to actually get and pop off with these holo chests is to loot a place with a lot of normal chests in order to try to maximize the amount of keys that you're getting. Once you maximize the amount of keys that you have, I think it's generally really intelligent for you guys to go to the holo chest and pretty much buy the whole thing out for stuff that you don't have. So for example, if you want a gold SMG and a gold shotgun, go ahead, use 2 of your keys to buy that. 2 keys is really not that difficult to find, especially because when you find them lying as a floor spawn, they always drop in pairs of 2. So one player can automatically upgrade half of their loadout. I think it's a really smart way for you guys to actually do that and upgrade all of your loot in general. Also, a really solid thing about the holo chests is that they're going to be having really good amounts of meds sometimes as well. You guys can go there, you can get a bunch of shield fish if you want to get that. It's a rare one, but you can still get it. You can obviously get the splashes. Anything you really want from a holo chest, as long as you're lucky enough to get it, you can easily purchase with just getting 2 or 3 keys from various chests around the area. And like I said, the best way to do that is to land somewhere with a really high chest volume location. And then obviously guys, the third tip, this is a really big one actually. This is going to be the floating islands. Now, something about this is that this is going to be more of a later game tip, considering the fact that floating islands don't pop up till later in the game. However, if you guys are walking around kind of with blue and green loot, and you kind of want to upgrade to that legendary and maybe even mythic loot, I'd recommend as soon as a floating island pops up, if you're nearby enough, you go up there, you capture the point, and you try to defend it at all costs. Yes, some of the good players will be going for this island, however, it's very valuable that you're on this floating island and you're trying to get it for yourself, because that loot could really make or break the whole difference between a game. You can get a mythic drum shotgun, you can get a legendary pump shotgun. Everything you really want from this island you can easily get, as long as you're able to go there first and you're able to defend it and win all of the fights that people will throw at you. Floating islands also have the great advantage of unlocking all the different chests and giving you high ground, so you can see where all the chests on the island are. You have different options for mobility like the rifts, like the launch pads, and also once again, you're just high up, so nobody's really going to be able to shoot you unless you try to peek out of the area. Floating islands, in my opinion, are also a great addition to the game. I think they really spice up the end games. They change elevation, they make brand new POIs mid-game. I think it's really valuable to actually use them and to actually learn how to play them. Once you're able to do that, I think that you're definitely going to be getting a lot better loot, and overall, you're just generally going to be playing a lot better. And now guys, the final point of how I think you guys can easily get your loot way better in the game. This is a really big one considering that the new updates to competitive are in effect. This is going to be the use of upgrade benches. Now, as you guys know, the way that upgrade benches work in the modern day, this is going to be through the use of gold. Now, what I recommend you guys definitely do is before you are entering tournaments or important customs, or even when you're playing ranked, try to go into this ranked game and try to get as much gold as you possibly can because it does carry over throughout games. And then what you guys can do easily is you guys can easily stack up enough gold to upgrade all of your weapons for one game, and you can choose how to spend that in your tournaments. What's really valuable I feel about upgrade benches is that now that you're able to stack gold in competitive and you're able to actually transfer throughout games, upgrade benches are not as unrealistic as they once were. I believe that the cap on your gold is 5,000 currently. However, I still think that it's plausible to get somewhere around that at least a couple of days before the tournament just by playing ranked. So if you guys see a safe, if you guys see objects in the vaults that you guys can easily farm to get gold, please do that. It's really valuable for your competitive. You guys are going to be able to upgrade your weapons a lot easier. You're going to be able to obviously have a lot better loot. Something else that you guys will easily be able to do with the gold is that you'll easily be able to take bounties. You guys will easily be able to buy stuff from vending machines, other stuff like that. It's really valuable to have a lot of gold. Mending machines are there. Everything that you could possibly want from the gold system, you need to absolutely abuse in competitive now that it's actually playable in the competitive game mode. But overall guys, upgrade benches, capture points, holo chests, and the floating islands, those 4 things I generally recommend to you guys in order to get the best loot possible and try to be consistent with them every single game. Like I said before, there's no way that you're going to be able to get all 4 of these in a game, but if you could at least get one of them, it's definitely going to increase your loot status a lot. I just wanted to generally go over the different ways to get good loot. In terms of how you guys apply them for your drop spots, that's going to be your own thing to figure out. I'd recommend what you guys do is hop on Fortnite.gg, see where all these things are around the POI that you're landing at, and then learn how to rotate to them efficiently. Then you guys can obviously maximize your loot and eventually end up placing a lot better because of it. Anyways guys, that is the video on exactly how to get better loot in Chapter 4 Season 3. If you guys did enjoy, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel down below. I really enjoy all of these different ways to get good loot. I think they're really valuable and severely underlooked in competitive right now. If you guys definitely pay attention to these tips, you're definitely going to improve by a lot. But that's about it for this video guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.